Somebody works for me on my Twitter, put a statement out that was totally negative. I got to take responsibility.
Someone who works with me posted a completely terrible statement on Twitter. I have to take responsibility for it because they work for me. Why would I do something like that? It doesn't even make sense. My entire brand is meant to be inspirational. A girl called me while I was talking to her at my desk, leaning against the window. I hung up, not realizing that she had heard rumors that Brandi Harvey had made an astonishing revelation in a recent revelation. Despite the fact that Steve and Majorie Harvey have refuted reports of infidelity and divorce, Majorie Harvey, the wife of Steve Harvey, is accused of robbing him of an astounding $200 million. Let's find out what is truly going on as long as there are disputes between Steve Harvey's biological children and his wife, Majorie. These assertions have caused many skeptics to conclude that underlying issues still exist in their marriage. The drama in his family will probably not go away. According to a source, Brandi, Steve's eldest daughter, has deep doubts about Majorie. There are allegations that Majorie may have persuaded Steve to prioritize his adopted children over his biological children. The details of what transpired between Majorie and Brandi are still up for speculation and gossip. Steve Harvey and his spouse Majorie are refuting the allegations of adultery made by the talk show host and their 16-year marriage, particularly with regard to Marjorie's most recent charges. The strained dynamic between her and Steve's children has grown much more apparent. These accusations, which shed light on the extremely problematic dynamics inside the family, are not new because speculation about Majorie has been around ever before she married Steve. People have been discussing whether or not Marjorie's motivations for being with Majorie Elaine Harvey, Steve Harvey's wife, has become a trending subject on social media in recent days due to claims of infidelity and divorce. Steve's relationships are solely financial rather than based on genuine passion. According to the act allegations, Majorie cheated on Steve Harvey with both her personal bodyguard and chef. She also allegedly asked for a dizzying $200 million divorce settlement, which would have come from Steve Harvey's alleged $400 million net worth. Nevertheless, we're following the same story in which Majorie filed for divorce and requested the $200 million settlement. When online investigators delved deeper, they discovered that the individual accused of the affair had a past and had been the matchmaker who had first introduced them in 2005. This helped the fidelity allegations gain traction online and spread quickly. Nonetheless, it appears that Steve Harvey has reached a breaking point at Invest Best 2023 as a result of the ongoing speculations about his wife. The comedian finally spoke up about the matter, asking people to focus on more meaningful endeavors and reassuring them that their relationship was still intact. Steve stated, "I don't know what you guys are doing, but since we're all okay, find something else to do. I have no time for idle chatter and hearsay." While Steve Harvey attempted to deny the accusations, a considerable number of followers remained dubious and believed that his statement was only a smokescreen to avoid admitting to Marjorie's purported infidelity. Thankfully, God has been merciful. I always felt she was the cunning sort, but one of them said he didn't address whether she cheated or not, and another added he doesn't appear fine. But there's more to the Harvey family drama than just money problems. There's something about her son. For years, there have been rumors that Majorie played a part in convincing Steve to adopt her 3 children and give them his last name. It seems that Brandi and her siblings initially found this situation odd and decided not to pursue it further because they thought it would end there. The belief among Steve's biological children is that Majorie has not only influenced their father against them, but has also turned his focus away from them in favor of her own children. But things took a different turn exposing a more complex reality than they had imagined during their years of marriage. Many have questioned Marjorie's favoritism as she has continuously brought her own children, especially Lori, into the public eye. Lori is not Steve's biological kid, yet she has become more well-known than his other children. He did the right thing by adopting Lori's children and loves them like his own. But there's a lot of disagreement among the blended Harvey clan in his explanation of the situation. According to a source, the notable treatment disparity has caused tensions between Lori and Steve's biological children, who harbor feelings of resentment due to the apparent preferential treatment Lori receives from their father. Steve Harvey said that Lori's high-profile sexual engagements had, unfortunately, caused her brother's jealousy to endure. The most famous of his children, Lori, has taken center stage, putting more attention on her and inadvertently raising the stakes. The entire family clan, according to another insider, Brandi, and the other children believe Majorie was the one who persuaded Steve to prioritize Lori's career over his own children. The general consensus on the internet is that Marjorie's alleged favoritism is what led to Lori's rise in popularity among the siblings. For example, during Steve's second marriage, his ex-wife Mary accused Steve of acting angrily toward her son Winton during visitation. This happened while Steve was already married to Majorie. Some people think Majorie may have exacerbated Steve's feelings toward Winton, possibly in an effort to force Winton's mother to request full custody. This action might have helped Marjorie's own kids by lowering the number of kids vying for Steve's attention. Significant drama surrounded the case at the time, and Winton's mother, Mary, revealed troubling information that she claimed her son confided in her, stating that Steve had gotten into physical altercations with him and had beaten him several times. To add to the already alarming accusations, Mary further stated that there was a time when Steve's rage reached a breaking point, and he punched Winton so hard in the chest that it left a lasting impression on him. Mary claimed that Winton had come home from school one day with obvious bruises, accusing Steve of hitting him physically over his homework. Mary had hoped to put a gap between the two of them, but her tactics had not worked out as planned. The fact that Mary couldn't afford well-known legal counsel for the custody dispute may have contributed to Steve's eventual filing for full custody of Winton and subsequent victory in the custody dispute. Even though all of Steve's children are now adults, it appears that Jorie's purported attempts to keep people away from Steve went beyond Winton, as she reportedly had a similar effect with Broderick, his first son from his first marriage. Broderick revealed that he didn't really have a relationship with Steve until he was 16 years old. It is truly astounding that Steve has been absent from Broderick's life for a staggering 16 years, despite meeting financial obligations like child support. It's important to note that Steve showed active involvement in Marjorie's children's lives, so this absence cannot be explained by a lack of understanding or a failure to connect with them, even when their biological fathers were still alive. Steve was seen by Lori's children as their primary father figure, and his preference for Lori over his own waters was undoubtedly one of his acts. Knowing that Steve took Lori on special outings that he never did with them may have evoked feelings of hurt and resentment, along with the feeling that their stepmother Majorie is always behind their father's money. It's not hard to imagine there will be tensions. That's it for today, folks. Until next time. Brandi and Carly likely left a lasting emotional impact. Farewell.